It would have been so much harder for us to participate.
Yes.
I don't think we could have done it.
And no, that's what I was saying. Find a venue that works for you, that'll be conducive to whatever environment it is.
And the problem in most other cities, we're huge, so we have a lot of options. There's a lot of bars, there's a lot of cafes. Each little area has its own 6 coffee shops or its own 12 bars downtown, midtown, Washington, out there in the energy corridor. Like, there's tons of areas. But in smaller, more compact cities like Austin and places like Chicago, where there's a lot more condensed people because their metropolis is just, you can walk everywhere or take a train or whatever, you're going to be competing on a much harder scale than what we have. It's a little easier to find a coffee shop or a bar that has half capacity, but they want to get to full, and we can promise them that they can get to full. I think the issue that makes it harder in some of those other cities is trying to think about it from a business perspective when you approach those places. Mm-hmm. We don't really necessarily have to say, we're going to fill your bar. It's easy for us to say, because we can be like, we have a consistent 150 members that are going to come. Mm-hmm. We're going to fill your bar. They all drink. They're all above, most of them are 21 and up. You're going to make sales. But for other cities, the ones, especially when they're starting out, they have to at least have that mentality that, why would a bar go out of their way to help me in this way? And you just kind of have to change the way you pitch it, not just about me. They don't care. Like most businesses, they don't care about video games. All of the people that we've had as our hosts never look at us and go, I love video games and I want your stuff in my bar right now. Because if they did, they would already have them on the wall. Mm-hmm. Like, they would already be set up. Mm-hmm. What we have to present to them is, what can we do for you as a business? And that's how, in places like Chicago and places that are more condensed like Austin, they have to change the way they think and turn their passion for it down and turn some of their business sense up. Mm-hmm. And so some of the ones we've had to kind of talk to how we do it, what's the best way to approach bars. It's kind of coming up with business ideas to help them and what works best for a video gaming group, and tell them how they could turn our passion of somebody sitting on it. You have to look at it. It's a great niche, because if you're a video gamer, you sit on a couch and you play a game for an hour, 2 hours. Most people, 8 hours, our events are 8 hours. So if people really want to play games all night, they're there for 8 hours. No other event can guarantee that you're going to have people come and stay for 8 hours. Mm-hmm. That's a huge pitch. To say that someone's going to sit there and rack up their bill just drinking and enjoying their time. And when you're playing video games, time flies. Mm-hmm. You don't realize that all of a sudden 3 hours have gone by and you've played 10 matches of Smash Brothers and made a couple friends, and all of a sudden you've been paying the bar, but you weren't really paying attention. It gets your mind off that whole spending thing. And we don't really, it's not like we make money off the bar, but that's the kind of thought you have to put out there for the bar to see, because they want to see what the profit's going to be. And so it's a little harder in places like Chicago, especially.
Well, we don't want to discourage those cities from starting.
But that's the kind of things they have to face.
That's what they need to think about.
In New York, there's a similar organization, and they have to appear big.
Yes.
They have to appear like a big organization, whereas we can kind of get off. We can say we're more grassroots in the way that we present ourselves. We have a lot more members than a small grassroots organization, but we don't have to present ourselves as a corporation of, we've got 12 board members and we decide the fate of our events and all of our funding goes towards,
It's not an evil cake for the board meetings, I promise.
But we don't have to put contracts down in front of bars and stuff like that. But if you're going to be in New York, per se, and you want to take over a whole bar, you're going to have to look a little more polished in your thinking about the business and presenting it that way.
It's finding a good venue that's going to work for you, because we had a small, our handheld event had 7 people showing up in the beginning. As soon as
we started it on the night that we just went out drinking normally.
Yeah.
That's right.
It
was a drink night.
We changed venues, and within 6 months, it I don't know, it blew up 500% immediately, just because the venue was great.
Yeah.
Better lighting, the environment, and stuff.
Now we have about 120 people.
It's finding a good place that's going to support your niche.
And let's get to you just in case we don't have.
What I was going to ask is For those of us who aren't 21 yet, do you have meetings outside of bars? Or?
Yeah,
We do.
That's what we were just talking about, our
handheld
handheld event.
meetup.
It's a Vietnamese sandwich shop.
It's a Vietnamese sandwich shop, you know, and my sister, her stepdaughter is, well, a lesbian. And she's 15, and she's like, I need to bring her to the gamer events because I want her to be around this positive environment of just people like gaming and stuff like that. I'll bring her to handhelds. Granted, she can't drink or anything like that, you know, but it's at a restaurant. It's made for literally everybody. You know, we're not trying to exclude people who are like younger than 21. You know, oh, you're not 18 or you're not 21 or whatever, you can't come in, or you're 18, put the little X's on your hands or whatever. You're not gonna drink, but you can stand around and watch us get drunk and like play. But the big thing is, as long as there's community. And one of our biggest pushes or positive factors, shut up, is we will set up in these places, especially like this restaurant, and random people will go, what's happening here? You know, and they'll ask one of us, and we're like, oh, well, we're playing games, you know, did you want to play? And invite anybody in, just random, what's the word I'm looking for? Restaurant goers? People walking by. Patrons, thank you. Patrons. Patron saints, man. And they will join in. You know, every now and then they'll join in, and lo and behold, we have new members.
We definitely have gotten a lot of people who have just been walk through traffic because of the locations we've been at, or especially when we were in a coffee shop, and then when we were at the Fairview, which was in Montrose area, we had a lot of people, it's high foot traffic. And so there were a lot of people that would come in, and straight people, gay people, whatever, and you know, you walk past and you see rock band on a huge projector, you're like, what is that? And you're gonna wander
You're
in.
rocking out on the stage.
We had to just walk up, grab the mic, and say, I want to sing that song.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what is this? What's going on? Like, after they'd finished the song, you'd be like, wait, where am I?
So
I wanted to sing, but now all of a sudden I'm surrounded by people.
And I think one of the best parts is people will walk into our events and go, how much does this cost?
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
People will walk into this room across the hall and go, well, they keep asking, how much does it cost? Give me your ID.
we don't
It's
charge
free.
for our events.
Yes, no, it's everything's free.
experience.
Especially at our normal events, we're not like confiscating or anything. It is completely on a basis
We
of
accept
trust.
donations.
You know,
We
I
sell
accept
t-shirts.
donations and sell t-shirts. Not this one, but this is.
Would we
No.
be able to bring games?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
We encourage people to bring their
Not
own
systems.
things to play.
I discourage that.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
systems is too hard. It's
actually-
just we don't want to be responsible necessarily.
Well, there's that. She's
question.
not-
First of all, how old are you?
I'm 18. I'm going to be 19.
That
so-
works.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
that's fine.
at our even our main events, which is housed in a bar, 18 up is perfectly fine. We've
Yeah.
even had some exceptions where an individual came to the bar, the owner, and was like saying, "Hey, my partner is 17, I'm 19. Can I get an exception?" They talked to them and kind of laid down some ground rules, and they were even allowed in. So we have several members that are under 21, even in here.
Hi, Mark. Oh wait, no, you said
and-
one now.
Well, that were.
That's where, yes.
And so feel free. You're welcome, invited, included. And we have that sway with the bar because we bring business to them. That we can allow the 18 and up to join. So feel free to come by. Now, in regard to your second question with the game systems, we started doing our Thursday events, which was started as Rock Band, and then we kind of started bringing Throttle Thursdays, blending the two to where we have Mario Kart. We're now doing BYOG, so bring your own game. We have other TVs set up, so if you never find someone that is interested in, I don't know, some specific game. I'm again a horrible gamer. Bring your system. There'll be there's a TV where you can hook up to and play. You'd be surprised someone else might come down and you have turned them on to that game, and all of a sudden you have a similar passion with them.
And see, and this touches back to what we were talking about earlier, is whenever you have an organization or you have a group of people who have all these interests, you're always having to like retool. You know, we started this rock band thing as a rock band Thursday night thing as a concept at the beginning of the year. You know, I might have yelled at this one because he released it too early. In my book. But, you know, it worked out, and then we started to retool and go, well, maybe people want to do more of this, you know, and then maybe people want to do more of this. And it's really just gauging your members and really keeping them actively involved, you know, with what's happening with your organization. Now, I'm gonna leave your question alone and go back to him because I never got to answer.
No,
it all took
we're
forever.
actually going to wrap it up.
Yeah, we're
But the
running out
one
of
thing
time.
that I want to leave you guys with is we're told all our lives that as children we are special, unique snowflakes, and I want to tell you that that is a lie. We are not special, unique snowflakes, and that's not a bad thing because there is always someone like you. There's always someone that you can meet that has similar interests that's just like you. You can go out there, you can make friends, you can start your own community, and I want to encourage you guys to do that.
You're never alone.
Yes, you're never alone.
Yeah, I mean, there's always somebody here who's willing to help, and if you have, maybe a different interest or you want to try something new, there's always someone who will help out. I mean,
It's taking those first steps of finding that one other person to start.
I went
and
to our
creating that community.
I went to our League of Legends. I have no idea what League of Legends is, but I was there. We had a watch party, and it was so exciting to me because there was like 100 people in the bar. 150 people in the bar. And they had like dragons. That
Dragons!
people, and I was very excited every time a dragon showed up on the screen. And I yelled dragons, and I had so much fun. I had no idea what it was about.
Actually,
but it was a blast.
About that, I mean, also, if you have a Facebook group and so forth, we were so nervous about that event because 22 people said they were going.
Yes.
Yeah.
150 showed up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Some people drove from like Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
seriously,
They're like,
It was crazy.
Don't
What
give up.
are you doing here from Florida?
Because if you go there with your 3 friends that you started with, you know what? You're gonna have a good time regardless.
Yeah.
You meet new
I know a
people.
lot of people who would love to join.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's,
great.
it's as long as you have that core, like that first group that has the same passion, it just snowballs from there.
Another good point about that is if you have a website like you guys do in forums, usually about 10%, this is typical for gamers in forums, 10% will be active. 90% are just lurking.
Yep. All right. I think we are
Yeah,
done,
I think
guys.
we're done. We're across the hall
pushing us
at we're across the hall at the 24-hour video
Thank
game
you,
museum.
guys.
We're here for the rest of the con.
Y'all made our first experience.
Yeah,
So good.
So good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, come back and see us while we're there.
Come back and see us.
24
We'll
hours.
be doing another panel at 4.
Yeah, we're doing
Thank you. We'll be in Salon 3 upstairs.
I was actually just looking at